All right, so we got glutes and hammies today, and I might have waited not long enough before going to hit, especially a leg day, eating right before. Thankfully, it's not quads, but I mean, if I throw out this lift, we know why. Disclaimer. And also just down to a liter of water, so we shall see. Anyways, let's talk about getting through a lift or getting your lift done, even if that day you're not even feeling it, or if you're not feeling it. Because as much as even I love the gym, some days I'm like, man, I got a lot going on. I really don't feel like it, or I just, whatever. Nobody's 100% always wants to go 24/7 every single day, even when you've been going for years. And I think part of it, of course, is now it's just routine. I don't think about it, but when I used to, I remember it's just like, first, as soon as I just take the pre-workout, get some caffeine in me, that's usually like the first step where it flips the switch. It's like, all right, I'm ready to work out. Really just getting caffeine down. And then the next step is just like getting the first set done of the day. Once you get your caffeine, once you get in the gym, once you do your first warm-up, however many warm-ups you do, and then once you get that first set in, make that your goal, and then move from there. Because once you get like the blood going, caffeine's kicking in, you'll be able to make it through. But I think that's a closer goal on the day, rather than just saying I got to work out today. Say I got to go to the gym. Let me get this first set in, and I know I'll feel better after the first set. Instead of just skipping it and be like, I don't want to lift now, because that will. Why are we waiting? That'll definitely help, because I know that's a common thing to not always want to go and have to like force yourself sometimes, and that's how it be. So let's go over a little bit of today's leg day. So we got like kind of 2 hamstring exercises, 2 glute exercises. We'll do 2 different types of hamstring curls, RDL, and then some type of like 45-degree back extension, but kind of like a Nordic curl instead. So 2 different types of ways of doing it, or 4 different exercises, then calves, abs, and then that's it. Yeah, same thing I'm normally doing. If you saw any other glute and hammy days, that's what I got going on. So I'm trying to think, what else you guys want to know? I've gone over numerous times about why I split my glute and hammies, my leg days, into 2 separate ones. So I'll vaguely mention it now. Just the amount of exercises you can do for legs to hit all the muscle groups. It's tough to put it in one leg day, so that's why I split it up into 2 leg days. And it helps me actually hit legs fully. And I will say, if you're growing, but for some reason your legs are having a tough time growing, maybe you need to split your leg days up into 2. Or maybe you just need to train them harder. One or the other. I don't know, it really depends person to person. I've been on both sides of that. So yeah, that's what we got going on. Dude, you guys gotta ask me in comments, like, what do you want to know? So, I guess I did mention a minute ago what I had I just ate before I came here. I guess I can kind of lay it out. It was 6 ounces of sirloin, a bagel, and a cup of greens. So it was like green beans. Now that sounds pretty random because the fact there's a bagel in there with steak. So I can elaborate a little bit. First, like the macros on it. It's high protein, low fat, moderate carb. As long as you got both protein and carb in your pre-workout meal, not just carbs, protein as well. People usually forget that part. They'll have pre-workout meal and it'll be just like 4 Rice Krispie treats, but like you should have some protein in there as well, because that'll actually help out the workout too, along with just like, oh, you think you need the carbs for the pump, but the protein helps too. And the reason it's a bagel instead of like a potato or something is because when I was peak bulk, I was like super full, and the way we were able to adjust my diet to like get more food down was adjust some of the carb sources to like a more dense thing. So like a bagel is 250 calories, and it's way less it's way less volume than like 250 calories worth of rice or potato. So it's a lot easier to get down. And the way it works when you're actually like dieting for a bodybuilding sense, you keep the same foods in week to week, but you just adjust like the amount over time. So like when I was going from bulk to cut, all the exact same foods were in my diet, just lesser amounts. Like we slowly took bits and pieces out, but kept the same foods in. So now even what I'm eating right now is the same as when I was on prep. It's just more food. There's more of it. So that's how it works. And it definitely took a bit, and it takes a bit to get into that routine of a diet where you actually know how your body's responding to it. It honestly does take, I usually say like a couple weeks to figure out like your maintenance, but to figure out like an actual diet down to how your body is, I'd say like minimum a month, and probably like a month and a half, maybe even 2 months, depending on how good or bad your body's responding to what you have going on. And it does make an enormous difference, because the difference between like just tracking your macros and like actually having a diet that's like whole foods and still hitting the calorie goal, yes, they're both gonna make you grow, but the look you're gonna have from the different types of foods, one is gonna cause way more water retention. You're kind of gonna look puffy, even when you're not even really more fat. It's just not gonna look aesthetically pleasing doing if it fits your macros compared to like a clean diet. Your digestion's gonna be better. You're not gonna be full of water, not a bunch of water retention. You're gonna be able to see the striations. Your muscles are gonna be more tight. And it's overall gonna look a lot better, even with it being the same amount of food as if it fits your macros. And I absolutely notice that difference now, especially with I've done both. I've done if it fits your macros for a year, and now I've done an actual diet plan with a coach for a little over a year now. And along with, of course, I'm like a considerable amount of more size. The aesthetic part of it, with how my body actually looks, regardless of size, is so much different. And that comes down to like the exact macros, exact diet, and it makes a massive difference. So it all comes down to what your goal is. If it's bodybuilding, then of course you're going to want to go the extra mile. I mean, that's how the sport works. But if your goal is just like, well, you want to get bigger, leaner, you can get away with it if it fits your macros. But understand that part of the aesthetic part of it may get tainted from the quality of food you're getting. And even if you're gaining and like in a gaining phase, like gaining weight, and you still not have like a perfect diet, it's not even really I wouldn't even call that a dirty bulk, because the term dirty bulk really is only from the amount of calories you eat over what your maintenance is. A dirty bulk is when you intentionally gain like numerous pounds a week over a period of time, and it counts as like a dirty because you gain a lot of fat from it because of the difference in surplus to maintenance. But you can like gain not in a dirty bulk but normal bulk and still eat dirty. So I really think the dirty bulk and clean bulk terms are completely flawed, and it's usually you don't know what the heck you're talking about. Yeah, got straight to the point saying that one, huh? Anyways, we got 4 o'clock Friday, 4 p.m. I don't go here at 4 a.m. I'm not that crazy. Yeah, hopefully, I don't think it'd be too busy because it's Friday. So, all right. I will see you guys by the hamstring curl. Bro. Probably gonna put myself pull up just so I can talk for a second before. All right. I'm gonna start with the laying first, and part of the benefit, or at least something I do along with not actually like writing down each set and rep that I do, is if you throw in one more set, this is if you follow like not actually tracking each rep to a T. Throwing more set in helps with getting a feel for what weight your body uses, because usually, even if you do track all the weight you can do, usually the first set you do, first top set even of the day or just any new exercise, probably could have been harder. Usually because you didn't have much blood flow in whatever you're hitting, or I mean, it's quite literally the first exercise I'm starting today. So even as hard as I push on this, probably could have been better. So that's why I like throwing 4 sets of everything instead of just 3. And it also helps the fact because I don't track every single rep that I do. So if my first set wasn't like a great weight to use and I got like 15 reps or so, or like 20 reps, I have 3 more sets where I can adjust the weight and then push harder. So, I mean, it all depends on how you actually train and track everything you do, but that's how they work hand in hand, with one more set and also not actually tracking the exact number of reps and weight I did last time. All right, we're gonna do it both legs at a time just so I can crank through this workout, so let's get it. Oh, I gotta do this out a little bit. Alright. Damn, I should set this up before pressing record. Whoops. Alright, anyways. I don't know, if you had a question on last set of how I was doing like 2 quick, 1 slow, it's just mixing up the workout. It's called the tempo set. I honestly just wanted to get higher reps in my hamstrings before going to the rest of the workout, so they're gonna get hit way more. And what did I get, like 15, 12, 10, and 10 maybe? I mean, that's plenty. And I want to go to RDLs. They're already filled out. So, I mean, it's probably going to give out way before my lower back on this. And something I kind of adjusted this time. This is like kind of like an RDL and an axle, if you don't know what it is. And I usually put like all the weight on this side. And I found like the curve of it, because it's closer to the end, the amount of weight that's at the bottom compared to like actually finishing the rep, it's like super heavy at the bottom because the weight's way over here. And I'm gonna move the weight closer to the actual, like, we don't want to say the rotation part, just so I can actually get more, and I'm not like stopping just because 1 rep where it's like 3 plates at the bottom of it. It's way heavier. I could probably get like, geez, like 5 to 10 more, and actually get more out of the workout because it's more of a gradual change in weight, the whole movement. And I actually fixed that on the hamstring curl, the one I just did before. I used to just like, what do you want to call it? Just the machines that you have like the 3 different segments that you can put weights in them. I mean, I think most guys now like put all the weight at like the stretch part of it, but part of it like can become overkill to where like it's super heavy at the bottom of the movement, and then once you get to like here and up, it's like a feather. And part of that I kind of like, I want to say screwed up my knee, but my knee definitely wasn't feeling good after one of my hamstring days because I did that. And it kind of causes you like to jolt the weight up at the second half of it. And then once you drop it down, the weight goes from like 10 pounds to like 50 pounds in this tiny range of motion, and then eventually drops on your joints. So I think that's why I usually see guys will put a lot on the end of the movement, or a lot of weight in the beginning of the movement, and then like half of it still here, just so it doesn't have that jolt part of it. But I don't know. I still got to figure out how much weight I can do on this, and I guess we'll see after this first set. That's the whole point of why I said I do 4 sets, so I can figure it out after the first one. All right. Oh yeah, get up.
room on this side of it, so instead of having it fall off, I just threw an extra one at the end. Okay. Okay. To that last set I killed. I didn't wear wrist straps, so like once my I guess my forearms gave out, I kind of just dropped the weight and then just kept doing, kind of basically just turned it into a deadlift from there, instead of just giving up on the entire thing. Because then I know that it was actually my hamstrings giving out. If I could just drop it, pause for a second, go back up. Because then my forearms aren't bad once you give them like a breather, that 1 second between them. So I guess if you ever forget your wrist straps, it's one way to make do with it instead of just ignoring RDLs. Is do it like an RDL, and once you give up, or not once you give up, once you have to drop the weight, turn it into a deadlift instead of an RDL. Okay, let's get this going. Yep. Okay. I'm gonna save the drop sets for like, maybe not a drop set, but like the one where you lean forward before doing the rest of them. For like the last couple. Just because I'm already, my hamstrings are already cooked. And I'll do it for at least like the last one. Instead of screwing myself over for my next set. Either way, just pushing hard. Okay. Yep.
How you doing?
Good, you?
Good. Like that?
Oh yeah, just finishing up.
Oh yeah, bro.
What about you? What was that?
Just.
Nice.
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
good lift, bro.
Appreciate it, bro. You too.
Yeah, man.
I'm gonna drop it just a little bit because I don't know. I'm trying to fix like the actual mental cue of me doing certain exercises. I've realized I kind of do like half reps, partials, which is fine. But man, I'd much rather do like a full actual calf raise instead of just the bottom half because I feel like you just get more out of it. And I think I've trained myself for like most things, like shoulder press. I'll do like to here and not like lock it at the top. And then, what else is there? Maybe like a tricep extension. I don't like lock out. So, I don't know, it's just a couple things I'm trying to fix. And part of it's like having to rethink of how to do the lift because you kind of go on like autopilot when you start doing it. And definitely makes it a lot harder. There's no way I'm gonna be able to do full range of motion with just this right now. So I'm gonna have to drop it down to like maybe a plate and a quarter. Okay. I know we didn't talk that much this lift, but I had to crank through it. How long does it take me? What time did we get here? 4? What is it now? 5:30? Even with not talking, the entire lift still took me about an hour and a half from when I parked the car. Gosh, dude. I say like that's one of the few downsides when I'm like gaining weight or bulking. It's the fact that my workouts take so much longer just because I have to take longer between sets because I'm out of breath. Dude, cutting I can fly through a workout. That exact same lift I could do in like 45 minutes half the time because I'm doing like 45 minutes of cardio a day and I'm also not overfeeding myself with like, I don't know how many carbs I'm eating right now, but a shit ton of carbs. So, I don't know. Honestly, I like cutting a lot better than bulking. Just, that's one of the reasons. Another reason is because I was able to go through a majority of my prep of like not being hungry. And it was nice making progress while actually like enjoying food. I'd say like majority of my bulk, even like starting it, I don't know, adding food just a pain. And it's also a lot easier in my day. Instead of having 6 meals where I'm like trying to force feed them, saves so much time just cutting. Really just depends on the person and your metabolism. But all right, I'm gonna call it there. Let's get in the car.
All right. Solid lift. Not a lot of yapping. Just straight working. I'm gonna go over some of it now. I just wanted to crank through that. And then move on from there. Just wanted to get through it because I got a lot going on. And then I'll make sure I don't hit anybody. So it was a good lift. And a quick lift. Some of the things, maybe you've never seen the, you can't turn in here, dude. What are you doing? All right, well, that person doesn't know what they're doing. Anyways. What I was doing on the 45-degree back extension, but I was using, I was hitting it more hamstrings rather than like my back, was because I was pushing through my thighs instead of through my hips. And I learned that actually from my coach because it's a different way of hitting hamstrings. And it's not by pushing through your hips because that's going to hit mainly glutes, but it is an entirely different feeling of hitting hamstrings. And the fact that I've just started now doing them over the past couple months is the only reason, or not the only reason, is the reason why I'm getting like 6 reps on it with just my body weight, is because they're tough first, and second, I've never done them before because it's a completely different way of hitting hamstrings. And gosh, if you think about it, like that's a different way of hitting. Like if there's a different way of hitting biceps you've never seen, like if you've never heard of a preacher curl before, and you've only just done like either just like a free weight dumbbell curl, and you start doing preacher curls, you're gonna be like, holy crap, my biceps feel totally different now after doing this. Like totally different way to hit them, and like it's definitely beneficial. So yeah, that was one thing I wanted to mention from the lift. And I think I don't know, I feel like everything else is kind of self-explanatory. I explained about why not having wrist straps out was just like kind of turned it into a deadlift instead. And the RDL, or not the RDLs, the hamstring curls are pretty straightforward. Just control them. Beginning I did a tempo set just to mix it up. High reps, a lot of volume. And you can definitely notice it and feel it. So abs every other day, and then calves every leg day. Oh yeah, I was just talking to my buddies when I was leaving the gym. We were talking about like just pre-workout, like caffeine wise. Gosh, dude, some of them ripping like 700 milligrams of caffeine to go to the gym, or like 500. And It's like, I mean, do whatever you want. But for me personally, dude, if I have like over 200, I'm like, I don't feel good. I feel like I'm tweaking and like anxious as hell. But I'll have like 500 throughout my day, but there's a totally different, it's totally different having 500 at one time than 500 throughout the day, because your body has time to metabolize it and keep it at a lower concentration of caffeine in your bloodstream. So that's more of a steady energy throughout the day, and it's totally different. So yeah, definitely a lot different doing that. And I'll keep it a buck. Because I'm going broke, I'm ripping 3 shots of espresso before I work out. And that's my pre-workout now. Instead of like, I usually have like I don't know, some type of powder. I'll throw it in my water and chug it. But the fact that I'm not in a position to spend $30 on a pre-workout right now, $12 on, or maybe like $15 on a giant tub of espresso, and then using that, 3 shots out of that. Now that I think about it, that might actually cost me more. Hope not. Oh well. But anyways, I gotta get caffeine somehow. I should have just bought, or I'm going to buy caffeine pills. That's like ideal for on a budget. $10, Amazon. I think there's like either 100 milligram or 200 milligram. Either way, caffeine pills that you just have one before you work out, and that'll be your pre-workout. And it is way easier. Well, maybe, I guess easier, sure. But I mean, it's like way more straight to the point of like the real benefit from a pre-workout is that. The other stuff in there is great, but honestly, it's like a bonus. But like the real stuff is just the caffeine, the stim part of it. Because once you start working out with caffeine, try working out without caffeine. Sucks. I actually can't remember the last time that I haven't worked out with caffeine. I think I always have. What the hell? I mean, because it just made logical sense to me. Why would you want to be tired working out when you can easily fix that? Don't you want a good workout? It's not like, oh, I got to save myself for something else. Like, dude, you don't need to save yourself for your sleep if you're, I'll make sure I park. If you had like a half-assed workout, what are you recovering for? Half-assed workout? It's like, get the good workout in and then just sleep and you'll be good. So, I'll be back. I gotta get gas, and it's gonna take me a second. So, hold on. Okay. All right, we're about to have a long ride home just because of the timing. Rush hour. And I always try to make my workouts avoid that because I'd much rather be at the gym longer with like the evening crowd than be in traffic longer. And that's just my take. Being in the gym longer, waiting for a set is fine with me, but dude, sitting in traffic is the absolute worst. Even if it's the same amount of time from when it takes me to finish my workout to get home. Between the two, waiting, either way, I'd much rather be waiting in the gym. But yeah, what are we talking about? I don't know. I gotta think of some things that I wish I could hear when I was starting to lift. If you, I guess maybe I'll start speaking to when I first started working out, because usually a lot of things I say are like something I wish I knew like 2 or 3 years ago. But like when I first started lifting, there's a couple things that I kind of wish I knew. And if you don't, even if like let's say you're just too young to even have a license, like a driver's license, or your parents won't drive you to the gym because they want to drive you every day, by all means, you can absolutely get a good workout at home, or even use the school gym. I'm sure, even if you're at a public school, whatever, any school, I'm sure they have something, and something is better than nothing. So even if it's some crappy equipment, It's better than nothing. Your body doesn't know the equipment's crap. Your body just knows that you put it under some stress. So whatever you can get, take it. I said yesterday when I was working out that I used to work out with like concrete. I used to lift pieces of concrete on sides of like a metal handle. And screw drived in like the clips on the sides because there's like slabs of concrete you're putting on each side. And I made it work. And I didn't even complain about that because I kind of enjoyed it. Make sure I don't get rear-ended. What is going on? Because I don't know, I was just able to work out in my basement like that. And it's nice because when you go from that to work out in the gym, it's like, whoa, way nicer. And you get to enjoy the gym more because you started off with using whatever equipment. So it's definitely a different thing. I want to get over it, but somebody's going to smack me if I do that. So we'll just wait. But anyways, something I would want to mention. And like, oh, what if I don't even have weights at home? Well, you can grab a bag, fill the bag up with stuff. You can do bicep curls with that. If you don't have a bench, you can take, what did I used to do? If you have dumbbells but you don't have a bench, just do it laying flat on the ground and press them like that, half the range of motion. And what else did I used to do? Oh, like if you're trying to do shoulder press, you kind of do like a push-up, but put your feet super high in the air on like a bench behind you or something behind you. So it's like almost doing like a incline bench because you're doing push-ups like this. You're pressing upward. And if you do it high enough, you can do it with your shoulders that way. And it's definitely a different way to hit them. I got to get out of this lane. Brutal. My fault, gang. All right, I had to make sure I cut the line in rush hour traffic. That's how it goes. You just gotta get in there. Yeah. What else? Oh, like if you're going to school and you also play a sport, it's like, man, it's tough to gain weight. Like, dude, I was there as well. It's pretty tough, but it's nice getting through it and finding ways to do it, finding ways to gain weight. Like in the morning, have a lot of food before you leave, because otherwise it's going to be really, really tough to gain weight. I don't want to say impossible, but it's like that's an uphill battle. If you're trying to gain weight and you miss breakfast every day, that is an uphill battle. Because you're literally trying to eat more calories throughout the day like that. Where if you front load it, have a bunch, it's kind of like this. So that's one of the biggest things. And I don't know, whatever. Big ass bowl of cereal, have a fair life. Solid. Good breakfast. A couple bagels, some eggs maybe. Good breakfast. If you have school and then you have like a break in between or something, like either at lunch you bring a massive lunch, or if there's a break as well, there's definitely opportunities to bring a lunch as well. And then if you play a sport after school, bring a second lunch for that between then. And then between your working out or your sport and then going home to work out, I used to slam a 1,000-calorie shake just so it would digest quicker before I I just cut this guy off. Before I wasn't even at my exit yet. Before I would work out. And that's just what I did. Man, I should have went further up. Whoops. I guess that's what I get for cutting somebody off. Anyways, that's ways to make it work. And it's always going to be something inconvenient to do. So Just got to find ways to get it done, and then like you'll be able to enjoy it. Because I remember when I was 16, I was looking at what I was doing. I was like, man, it's gonna be nice when I'm 21 and I stuck with this. I'm gonna be in great shape from it, and how I'm gonna look. I'm gonna be so glad. I'm gonna be looking back and thanking myself right now because I'm putting in this work while I'm in high school still. Nothing else going on, getting bigger, and here I am, happy about that because I had nothing else going on, getting bigger. So, very nice. I lived up to exactly what I was thinking. Maybe you can think the same way. Even if you're 18, even if you're my age and you're just starting to work out, you can think about when you're 26. It doesn't matter. It's the fact that you get to look forward to how you're going to be in the future. Yeah. So it's nice. Something to look forward to. And that was honestly one of the biggest, not biggest, one of the nicer things I distinctly remember from like one of the goals I had from starting to work out. I was like, man, I'm going to be 21 and I'm going to look sick. And I don't know if I look sick, but I'm definitely happy with how I look now. I mean, I used to not be. I used to hate what I look like. And that's okay, because that pushes you to change yourself. And that's in the same way, why you started working out. That's okay. You work on it, you get better, and I think that's a good thing. Because imagine if you were like 100 pounds, like anorexic, and you're like, I look great. Or what if you were like, I don't know, 30% body fat, and you're like, I look great. Like, I wouldn't call that self-confident. I feel like that's just either ignorant or arrogant. Ignorant to where you don't really realize what you look like, or arrogant that you think you're too good to actually put in some work. And why does it matter? The world judges one way or another, man. And anything you try to do in life is going to play into it. You want to be a businessman, entrepreneur. When you try to do business with somebody, before you even say a word, they're going to judge you based off of what you look like. And if you can't stop going like this with food, from moving your hand to your face with food, they're not going to want to do a business with a person that isn't disciplined enough for that. Or let's say your job. I don't know what your job may be, but an employer sees someone that takes care of themselves, like, man, this guy has got it going on. And they maybe were inclined to hire you because they see that you are actively improving yourself. So, or just even conversations with people brings more respect to who you are as a person. Same concept of why don't we just wear pajamas to dinner, out to dinner, or why don't we just wear pajamas everywhere in business meetings? It's because, like, that's just how the world works. Judgment. At the same time, I don't care what people think of me, but also I make myself presentable to be taken seriously when I speak. Does that make sense? It's so you're taken seriously when you speak, because that's important. If you want to do something important, look as important. So the getting in shape is more than just, oh, I don't like how I look, but there's a reason behind that, and the reason to push to get better. So it's important. I mean, maybe you don't do bodybuilding. Maybe you just fight. You do fighting in a cage or whatever, and that's your way of getting in shape. One way or another, man. Just how you get it done. This traffic is brutal. So yeah, I think that made more sense. I'm going to call it there. We got a rest day tomorrow. I'm probably going to make a whiteboard video now that I think about it, because I should. So y'all can understand some of the things I say. Yeah, I'm going to do that. I don't know what you guys want to hear on the whiteboard video, though. If you have any suggestions for the whiteboard video, let me know. Otherwise, I made a big old list what I think would be nice to teach. So let me know, and we will get it done. But I'll call it there. Appreciate y'all watching. Appreciate it if you stuck through my entire rant. I thought that was very valuable. So if you liked it, good. All right. Peace.